Hi guys, so I thought it'd been a little while since I'd done a little catch up. It is the second week of the school holidays. I work in a school, so it is my second week of my school break. And I have been really enjoying a lot of writing time over the last week. I have been amazed by how much I've managed to get done. I'm really proud of myself for that. Motivating myself and making myself just work on things because I do have a bad habit of procrastinating, as I'm sure everybody does. But so just over a week ago, so Friday before last, so like just as the school holiday starts, I was getting pretty close to the end of my first draft of The Girl on the Glass Throne, which is a book that follows The Girl Behind the Glass, my dark retelling of Snow White, with witches and mages and stepsister for the Snow White character, and ghostly elements. And so I've been really enjoying writing the first draft of that, or finishing up. So I finished it up that night, and then the day after, it's all handwritten, so I have to type it, but the story is like out and finished in my notebook. So on the Saturday, so the first proper day of the holiday, so a week before last, I went back into it and I started draft 2, because why not? It'd been a while since I read the early chapters anyway, so it was pretty fresh in my mind to read and see what I'd written, and be able to get ideas from it, so that was helpful. I didn't realise I'd actually started writing it like a year ago. I didn't realise it had been that long, but I always do that, because I always spend a long time drafting a novel. But that's fine, whatever. So I'd finished my first draft, pretty happy. It's a bit of a mess, but as first drafts are meant to be messes. They're meant to be all over the place. It's just like building the foundations of a story. So I was really excited to get back into draft 2, and went back through chapter 1, read it, rewrote some stuff, and I've got a big notebook which I was writing stuff in, of the draft in, and I just start a new page, put the title page again, draft 2, and then started writing new scenes in here, and also going through, and for each chapter, you can see at the top I've got chapter 4, and then I've got chapter 5, and I've just got everything that happened in the story, all the changes that I'm making in the scene, anything that I need to remember, like small details of character names or titles, like things that I think I could potentially forget, or anything that's changed. Basically, anything in my mind that I think is important goes down, so I can see kind of what's happening in the chapter, and then also what changes I need to make, or may have also made. And then if I have an idea for a potential new scene to go in that chapter, which I have done a few times now, I'll also write that in there and what is going to happen, or like a rough draft. And then, of course, when I type that up, I'll say when I've typed and edited it, and I'll write down, just to like note that I've done it, of what changes I've made, what has happened in that new scene, anything that's come up, because sometimes my writing flows better when I'm not really thinking or planning too much, and I just sort of go with the flow. So I've been doing that for each chapter, and I'm now on chapter 6 doing that. And I looked back through and into my document on my laptop, and I saw that I have the first 9 or 10 chapters typed, first draft. So those are the ones that I'm slowly going through and changing, rewriting, and adding scenes or changing things, like whatever needs changing. And then I worked my way through that, and then in this other little notebook I have, This is the one that has all of the plans in for the entire book, and also some of the early drafts, so like the chapters that I haven't quite typed up yet, I'll have to find in here, type that up, and then I think I ran out of space in this one because it's quite small, and then I carried on writing the first draft in here, and then obviously when I finished that draft I carried on, all the little planning and everything. And then what was handy about this one was that even when I was drafting in here later on in the story, I was using all the plans, because I don't know if you can see if it's very clear, but this is basically everything that I potentially wanted to happen in all of my chapters, which of course changes as the story goes on, and I write things and characters do things differently, or I'm pretty much an instinctive writer in that I just do whatever feels right at the time, and that's why it's so important to make a note of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, because I will forget. As much as I am enjoying what I'm doing, I will get confused and stressed if I don't have the things to look back and go, oh yeah, that's that. And that's what I was doing that, and so on, to not confuse myself. So that is kind of my process for rewriting. Like I say, I'm on chapter 6 at the moment. I have planned out chapter 7, and I've also planned out some stuff for the rewrite for chapter 6, which is what I'm potentially going to do in a minute when I finish this video. So yeah, basically that's what I've been working through this last week. I've been really enjoying it. I'm really proud of some of the scenes that have come out, because when I first started doing the second draft, I was proud of the story and a lot of the story that happens in the first draft, but like I say, it still felt like a mess, and there was a lot of stuff that I needed to change, and I knew I needed to change, but I wasn't sure if it felt like the standard that I'd got in this one, because this is very much kind of reimagines or retells the story of Snow White. Book 2 is gonna come away from that a little bit, but it will still be these characters and things that have happened to them, and it's like following on from their story. And my other character, my Snow stepsister character, she will have a love interest who, I won't spoil it, you'll find out if you read it anyway, but it's she's basically going to be Cinderella, so she's going to be slightly sapphic. My Snow White character has a prince sort of love interest at the end of book 1, although that hasn't really developed properly yet, so this is going to develop a lot more in book 2, so she'll have her love interest. And then other than that, it's a duology, so it will be kind of like finishing off their stories. So I think that's the thing that I've struggled with the most, is making sure that it's up to the standard that I want it to be, and finishes off the story well, while also being its own sort of self-contained like story, basically. Because it is very different from book 1, but that's kind of the whole point. If you like the ghostly elements in book 1, there's still a lot of that. And we have a bit of a redemption arc for the villain. We have a new villain, or 2 new villains technically. One of them appears in book 1, but kind of mentions of her, not like an actual character. And yeah, it's gone really well so far. It's fun, and I'm excited to carry on and get as much done as I can over the next week before I go back to work. And I think, as I mentioned in previous videos, that I am pregnant. I'm now 24 weeks pregnant. So in July, end of July, I'll be finishing my school year, and then after that I will be going on maternity leave. So I'm hoping I can make it till the end of July with no problems, not be ill or uncomfortable or anything. And then I can technically start my maternity in September. But still get my holiday in August will be good. So, yeah, that's the plan. And then it'll be kind of working around a newborn, which is going to be exciting. But yeah, I'm just making the most of the time I have. Trying to, anyway. And I'm not meeting family and friends and buying baby clothes. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. That is kind of my little recap of what I've been doing. I have been reading a lot as well. So I have some more plans of book reviews and things like that. I'm currently reading an indie book called A Path of Darkness and Runes by Marnie Norton, and she is one of my indie author friends on TikTok. That's how I found this book. The same with a few others. So, well, I've tried to do some TikTok reviews, so I'll try and do more on here as well. But, and little guy is currently kicking away like right now. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening as always, and talk to you guys in the next one.